So I bought one of these, and this is not a review of the 360 One X. It is instead a review of the 5M waterproof case for the Insta360 One X. This cost me $35 with tax. It came directly from China. It is version 1. It came in this package right here with some tape on top. This is that bubble wrap stuff. Not a lot of protection. So I was a little concerned. When I pulled it out though, I was happy at least it was an actual Insta360. I didn't know this, but this camera, yeah, I understand it's made in China, but I think it was developed in China, just like DJI. So let's open this box and see what we have. Alright, got some instructions here. I guess that's a bag. And this is the Venture case. Instructions come in all sorts of languages. Put this off to the side. It says push down on this and then open it up. Open it up. Whew, that took some doing. See, you got some coatings here on the case to protect it. That's nice. You got a little button here. Now this is a Venture case. It's designed to be beat up. It comes with a GoPro-like mount and then a regular mount that you can put into, I guess, any tripod. It hinges a lot like a GoPro case. Ugh. Now you got to be careful because, you know, I'm a little concerned I'm gonna break this thing. Let's use an Amazon credit card to see if we can get in here and pry this open. All right. A little nervous about that. It's a bit flimsy. Here's the inside where the buttons are. Some sort of paper with a smiling emoji, and I have no idea what this says. So it's absolutely worthless to me. Put it in, clamp it down. Now let's see if it turns on. Lights on. Alright, so both buttons work well. Shut it off. Now let's open it up. It is not easy. You gotta push down on this level and pull up, and it's just an unnatural act. I found that you use a credit card or a gift card, and that gives you a little extra leverage to have it open. $35, it should work solid, but before I risk my $400 camera, I'm gonna test it by itself. Last summer I did some tests for some iPhone cases, and the easiest thing to do is just take a paper towel, put it inside where the camera goes, and tighten it up. There's a white gasket or seal that goes all the way around. Hopefully it works. So now I'm going to take this giant plastic jar and fill it with water and then time it. I'm going to have it stay in there for about an hour. We'll check it periodically, see how it's doing. But if it stays dry for an hour, then I'll trust it with my camera. So kind of as anticipated, it floats, but I need it to sink so I can truly test it. Here's my test rig. I have 2 hockey pucks that I use as actually a camera mount. Hopefully it will go down in here and weigh it down. We'll see. Drop it down in there. All right, now all I have to do is fill it up, and I have some extra water. Camera case is now completely submerged. It's time to start the timer for 1 hour. I was gonna go an hour, but if it hasn't leaked in half an hour, it's probably good to go. Dry it off on the outside. Recycle the water to water the plants. Take it off the hockey pucks. By the way, hockey pucks, really solid mount. Very stable, just enough weight. Leak test, you really got to kind of look it over. Right now, from this perspective, it looks pretty good. Now I have to get it open. Wet! Ugh. You know what? I'm going to try it again. Not good. Not good at all. That is oh so disappointing. Look at it and see where it might have leaked. That's all dry. It's all dry. It's kind of a funny gasket. It runs around, and any kind of little void cut would be enough to do it. It seemed like it was on this side. It's way down in the inside here. Okay, test number 2. Try it one more time. Just want to make sure that I didn't have any paper towel on the outside. Yeah, so you had a little paper towel, a bit of paper towel there on the outside. I'm not sure if that messed it up or not. Maybe I'm going to just roll this a little tighter. Even if you think you got a good one, highly recommend that you do it. Okay, should be fine. Seal it. Okay, it clicked in place, and make sure it's clicked in place. That could be a factor. Seams all nice and tight. Put it back down in there again. Put it in for another 30 minutes. Okay, we've gone another 26 minutes. 26 minutes, 30 minutes, really don't think it's going to matter. It's either leaking or it's not. So I'm going to pull it out, take the hockey pucks off. It appears dry. That means that sometimes it's going to be dry and sometimes it's not. So there's a chance there's water in here. We noticed that before. And maybe that going on. I want to be fair here. This is a fair test. But I don't want to put my $400 camera in a $35 case and have something happen to it. So I'm going to open it up, give the fair chance. That time, it's completely dry. Yeah, no moisture on the inside at all. So maybe it got wet from here. Might have to try it out in the pool. Next step, lots of water. We're at the pool, so we're ready for testing. The first thing we're going to do is put and I forgot my silly credit card. Go get one of the IDs out of the bag, dude. Oh, never mind, I got it. Okay, so we're going to put the 360 in here. Oh, we're taking chances. I want to make sure the seal is good, nothing blocking the seal. This is just a floating one, and it's very turbulent in the water, as you'll see. If it for some reason tips over, just write it. I'm just going to toss it to you. Okay, test 1, my able-bodied assistant will receive it. Get out there, I'm going to throw it to you. Again, if it goes over like this, just write it and then just tow it with the handle.
Got it.
Got it?
Yeah.
Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Pick it up, turn it around. Okay, tow it. Smile a little bit, have fun. You're on camera. Test number 2. Ready?
I could probably went from there.
Write it and drag it down. Go down past the guard and come back.
Meet right here. All right, hang on.
This is what we're calling depth charge. We're going to just drop it down. It's weighted, so hopefully it's going to land in the pool just like that. But we'll see. Okay, ready? Did it go all the way straight down, or did it hit on its side?
It teetered a bit, so I had to correct it.
Okay, bring it up. Depth charge worked pretty good. This worked pretty good. Although, as I imagined, as soon as you throw it in the water, it's top heavy, so it just rolls right over. But the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in whether or not this thing stays dry or not. And again, I'm using a card because there's trying to do this with my fingers just way too hard. So I use a credit card or some sort of card. Open it up, works great that way. All right, see what the ends, and it does appear to be dry. A review on the actual camera itself is coming soon. I really wanted to use it for a while before I actually did some sort of evaluation. The way my channel works is I beat on things, I try them out for a long period of time before I give you an honest review. I've downloaded the images you get 2 files, one for each camera. So you go into the Insta360 software. A couple things to point out. In normal mode, you have an artifact to the venture case that goes around like that. That's a bit distracting, but the balls on the bottom, they are intact. Now watch what happens when I go to the venture case. The balls are kind of split, and you can see the seam a little bit, not as much. There you can see it a little bit right here. Here's a little water spot. For the most part, the actual lens of the venture case was pretty good. Another thing to point out up here is view versus free capture. I think view is that's just like a regular view without a 360, and the free capture is the actual 360. That doesn't mean you can't move around the image in view. And again, I'm just learning the software. But when you go to save it up here, then it's just a different format. So here you can see the GoPro camera I used to throw the toss in and a little artifact. With the venture case, it's overlapping on both sides. Let me just go through the clip so you get a sense of what's going on here. You can kind of hear the sound faintly, and then you can move the clip around like this and just pick some key points. Above, fairly good. There is a little bit of a seam. In some sun angles, you'll get a little bit of a glare off of the case here. I didn't find that a lot. It's more the side seam issues that seem to be the biggest thing. Again, you can hear a little bit of the water in the sound. That's about as deep as it is. Another thing to point out is this base is really wobbling around, and yet look how stable the image is up here. Very impressive. The stabilization in the Insta360 is very good. This is not a review of the software. I'll save that for another time, but it's very impressive. You have file F, file E. Those are the 2 different files from either side of the camera. You have a play feature settings. Fairly basic up here. You can work with the stitching a little bit. I've had probably 3 hours working this, and it's fairly intuitive compared to other softwares I've used for 360 for sure. This is the best of the best. It's got some features. You can crop it here so you can see the ghost image of what the original was. This is all in view. In free capture, you have a couple more options. You can drop these little points in the video, milestone points, at different places. Just take your cursor, go here, you can adjust the camera to look at whatever, and then you hit one of these little points there, and then that just allows the view of the video to be tracked. So now that I've shortened up and put some of those little points in there, we'll run the video again. You can kind of see where it goes. See how it tracks to the next point. There's the toss. The sound hitting the water is pretty obvious, and then we're just moving along. So then it's going to shift to another point very carefully. You can see the transition here, just a tad away from the image. There's another quick one because I wanted to show the artifact right there. You can see this is a different angle than maybe you saw before. So lots of good things about it. Let's pause the video for a second. Bottom line, is the venture case worth it? For this kind of thing, I'm a little nervous about the water. 1 out of 2 tests, there was a little bit of dampness on the paper towel. The maximum depth I took it was about 5 feet. I paid $35 for it. I certainly wouldn't pay any more than that. You've got some pretty good image quality. The cover where the lens is, you can see here, it's pretty good. These buttons are easy to use. Getting the case on and off is kind of a pain. This little thing here, maybe if I brought a Phillips screwdriver, center it down pretty good and it wouldn't be an issue, and you would probably take it out of the view because it's in line with the case, so it wouldn't be an artifact as much as, I guess you can't even see it here because I had it in a line there. You can see a little bit of an artifact there. It does protect your camera. Maybe not as a waterproof case if you're doing any bicycling, things like that. Tempted to do a video, and I probably will, on putting this on a bicycle because I've had 360 videos on a bicycle and they're really jerky. But this thing seems to stabilize out like you saw here in this clip. So I think it's pretty good, and it's probably worth it from that standpoint, from protection But waterproof, it's a toss-up. 50-50 chance. You'd hate to lose the camera. So I would certainly test it out like I did to make sure that it doesn't leak before you put your $400 investment into a $35 protection device. But, you know, out in the wild, you're probably going to put a soundtrack on it anyway. Yeah, I would get it for that, but I'd be really cautious about putting it in the water. You'd really have to keep an eye on it. Thumbs up and comments always appreciated. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more evaluations on this little guy and other hardware that we can use with it coming soon.